I mean, we can tell because they have cloned things.
Also believe they have video evidence.
Who this? Yeah.
Okay, it's not there. Okay, here we go. What happened? Did I get there? Hey, everybody. What is this thing? Oh, Jesus, what's going on with this? Okay. Welcome. Is I'm okay? Is this okay? Wait a minute. Let me see how I put this in. Did mango do me some good? Oh, you know what? Hold on a second. Let's see. Yeah, I'm there now. I think okay. I got it. Okay. Hey, here we go. How you doing? I am Dovey. I am your host, and you was on here. If you from X, Twitter, no, X and Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and surrounding Facebook. It's something interesting that I've been trying to pull up. And basically, what I'm trying to do is, oh, but I'm not too loud for you guys. I heard the music was down, but too low. What I'm trying to do is right here is to get my people, all people, those that follow me and watch me, let you know about the mindset that allegedly did in fact with Diddy. Okay, why is it all this here? And he's not the only one. So anyway, it was I told you guys I was gonna come out with it later, right? Anyway, I took my nap and I was still trying to dig it up, what I was watching and where. So anyway, I come across something here. I come across a situation here. Y'all, we have to get out our feelings and know exactly what is going on. And it's going on right here and around with us. It's going on with our children, okay? For example, look at what Cassie and all the other stylists and everybody they got themselves into. Y'all on your way up there. Thank you, hotel. Thank you. On your way up there, you didn't get up there by yourself, okay? Either you had some family that's had money to get you there, or you basically had a friend of a friend that basically helped you along the way until you made it there. But guess what? It is a price to pay. So anyway, I've been looking and I've been so focused. Those that don't know this, but I tracked the Diddy trial, right? And I also paid for a full transcript of what is going on in the courtroom. So a lot of times you will see it on my community wall. I've been spending a whole lot of time and I am enjoying myself with you guys, okay? Because that we don't know, my trip was to go to New York with family. And I can still go with family, but this is a case, I don't want to be up there long. The most I want to be up there is 2 days on the plane and back home. So anyway, with that, this case is doing whatever you want to do. Everything come out is so shocking and disgusting and violent and hidden and drugs, sex, violence. So I just basically, every time I think that I got it and I'm going to be able to do it, not only myself, other content creators that I talk to. As you know, I am in another sector, okay? The sector that I am in, I'm in basically in the comedy. I can do blogging, but that's basically what I'm about because I like laughing and fun and making people laugh, okay? So anyway, I will push that on, then push in with the blogger and fight and just said, I don't want no more. I don't want no more. Praise God, I turned 58. I don't want no more. I'm not babysitting nobody else, and I'm not walking to the courtroom after no damn body saying that I'm stalking them and they stinking ass damn kids. I'm not going through that. So anyway, you guys, we're gonna get into focus. And I want you guys, these long dresses, these long gowns that they be wearing. They look, hey ladies, boo. These long gowns that they be wearing. Why? After you take off those gowns, thank you, boo. After you take off those gowns, what do you do with them? You have a certain time to have it back over to the designer. Okay? Some clean them, sometimes go ahead and put it on consignment or whatever that they do with it. Okay? Unless that you basically want to keep it, but you still be a price that you pay. Okay. This Diddy trial, I'm getting deep in. Well, I told you guys that I'm going to follow it all the way through. So basically, we are in week 3. The first week we was pulling the jury. It started last week. So basically, how my week is, I'm getting back for 3 weeks. 3 weeks with it because I was there when it was pulling the jury. Everybody came out like last Monday when things started. So basically, on my days and calendar, we are into our 3rd week. Okay. This is you can say what you want to say about Ms. Dovey, and I am who I am, and I'm not going to stop doing what I do. Yes, I do believe in candles. Yes, I do dress candles, okay? You can call it witchcraft, voodoo, that I call it Dovey, okay? And that's basically what my channel is. That's why a lot of time, you guys don't know, I be up at 4:34, 4:45 in the morning, and I be praying, okay? I do pray. And basically, it's what depends on what the spirits lead me. Okay, I basically do it like 4 times a week, and then I basically like take off one day during the week, and I don't do it on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so anyway, I want y'all to go. This is sort of kind of, we all grown. We all don't heard of it. We all since that we have been got grown. We heard of the Illuminati. Why is all these people, why when they can come straight from out of the hood What we do know in the hood dealing with drugs, things go changing hand. Drugs go changing hand. We do know. Okay, as we grew up and knowing about, but we didn't want no parts of it because it was the fast life. Okay, what I'm gonna go over here and show you something. I'm gonna play around with you guys. I'm gonna play around with you guys, and I hope that we can get something out of this here. I do have it as an open panel. When whoever say to drop the link, I do have it. It's an open panel. You guys, it's more into life just fighting, and come on, let's get educated. Why that we are in the shape that we are in. Why that Dolly tell you don't let nobody wear no shoes in your house. Don't let them come tracking and wiping they at your front door, dusting off all those spirits at your doorstep. And then they'll try to find, then the spirit try to find it way in your house to eat up some energy, but they can tear the whole damn house down. Okay. Okay, this one is come on. Where am I going? Okay. I don't know. Hold up, you guys. Yeah, I'm with him. Wait a minute, you guys, just give me one. Let me see if I get the video out of here. The one that I am focused on. Ooh, thank you. I don't know who it is. Okay.
So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
It's a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessful.
Okay.
That's how you understand
what Kevin Hart wearing a dress in the SNL skit. And Dave Chappelle spoke about that as a comedian. Black actors always, being asked to wear dresses. Have you ran into that? And what do you think about that whole Illuminati theory that people could put out there about that?
You know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Kevin told you he wasn't going to wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh.
Why does every black man in Hollywood get forced into feminization once they reach stardom?
But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you?
And here we go again.
Okay. You guys, this is education. This is for education purposes, and I'm going to be in and out dealing back with you. I'm trying to get you guys based on.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Didi Got Podcast. And of course, I'm your host, Didi, back up in this witch.
with another video. Listen, before we delve into today's topic concerning the Met Gala and exposing the Met Gala, if you would like the extended and uncut version of this video, please consider becoming a member of the Patreon. There are several things concerning this event, such as hand symbols, different colors that they wear, different outfits, and why they choose certain celebrities to wear these different outfits and what they actually mean and what the whole purpose of the Met Gala is to begin with, that I cannot talk about on YouTube. If you would like to hear that, then please consider becoming a member of the Patreon. So let me start off today's video with saying, if you are one of those people in 2025 that sees some of the things, hear about some of the things that we're going to talk about in today's video, and still choose to hop in the comment section or still choose to hop under these posts and say things like, oh, this is so creative and this is so artistic and oh, such freedom, like many of the comments that I've been seeing, then you are choosing to be ignorant. You are choosing to be ignorant. You are choosing, or you're just flat out lying. You know that there's other things that's going on. It's clearly other things that's going on, and or it's either that or you're a bot, an NPC or a bot. And if you don't know what that means, it's an extra character in a video game that has no purpose, that don't think for themselves, that literally just goes with the flow. Whatever people tell them, whatever the mainstream media tells them, they believe it. You're choosing to believe it because it's clear that other things are going on. And part of the proof of that is that when it comes to events like the Met Gala, a lot of folks don't even know what the purpose of the Met Gala is.
Okay.
They don't even know. But I'm going to tell you exactly what it's about, or at least what they tell us. So essentially, every year, as we know, celebrities, designers, influencers, etc., show up in these wild outfits, some looking like royalty, right? And others looking like they walk straight out of a sci-fi movie. And the whole world basically just watching them attend this event. Again, a lot of folks don't even know the purpose of the Met Gala. But what they tell us is the purpose of the Met Gala is supposed to be this fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute in New York City, right? That's the official story. And it's also very important to note that the Metropolitan Museum of Art was founded by a group of men, but was mostly established by two men in particular, one name being John Jay and the other name being Theodore Roosevelt Sr. Now, what's very important about these two individuals is that they both were a part of a club that we've talked about on this channel multiple times, that being Freemasonry. That's right. John Jay was a 33rd degree Freemason, and so was Theodore Roosevelt Sr. as well. And we all know that's not a coincidence. But not only were they Freemasons, they also hid many pieces of Masonic art in the museum with some of the...
Okay, let's go right here. The Mason. Yes, I have one uncle and two aunts. They was a Mason. Okay, that is a secret society that what they are in. All right. When I'm going to talk about dealing with when my aunt passed. All right, they handled everything dealing with her transition over to the other side. Also, too, they had took a big blanket, a big cloth, and they had that symbol over it, and they folded it on top of the cat. Then they gave it over to her daughter. All right. So anyway, but I do know about it. I had wanted to come, but anyway, I had wanted to join it. But one thing did affect with the Mason that I had known. A friend of mine, there was three of us in the truck, and we were drinking and everything. But basically, me and my friend were drinking, and the guy truck that he was driving. So somehow or another, I think Charles had got speeding or something. Anyway, we had pulled over. The man seen Charles' tag. He seen the tag on the back of Charles, on the back of Charles' truck. He came in there and he just said, "Hey, sir, how you doing? Right? Everything is okay." He pulled us across the road on the interstate. He says, "Everything okay?" He's Charles had say, "Yes, everything okay. You stopped me?" Then he said, no. He said that we were looking for somebody else. Everything is okay. All right, and we do that, Charles. Because at the signal on the truck, it had like a sensor, a speeding device, and it'll beep and letting you know that you're speeding and police up ahead. That's how it was. That I experienced that twice with Charles. It's something pertaining to when they go to these meetings, they get this certain type of, yes, they do pay fees every month. They do have meetings. And anyway, with that, they give them some kind of sticker or something goes on. It depends on how their rank is in dealing with the depends on what their rank is. into the group. And they'll put that on the back of their tag. And you know what? It's something about that tag and that thing, that sticker, that metal thing that they put on there. You know, the police them let them go, won't give them no ticket. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, we back here, we drinking, and this truck smelling like liquor. I was totally frightened. So we gonna go on. So I'm going somewhere with this here. I'm getting down to it, and what I want to let me make sure y'all see my face. What I want to get y'all to understand that with Diddy, wish that we hear things and why all of them is in a group. That's why when he had these secret parties, you had to be. I was somewhere last night doing a lot of research on Diddy, so I can basically, like, when I come in and do my show, I'm following this trial, I can get more like figure out more like what they are saying. Welcome to the ladies' night, everybody. Thank you for coming over. Welcome to the ladies' night. Thanks to my new people over there on Twitch. I'm coming over there, you guys, because I'm supposed to go over there and subscribe to a couple of you. All right. Y'all, this is red in our face. And let me also too tell you about these Illuminati. Yeah. Don't always look at that. They are in a big house. Yes, they will have a big house up there in the hills. But they also, too, will have some that you can look down on the hill. Look down. So basically, like, if they live in basically like in a high society area, let's say in Los Angeles, it's always a house down there. Always a house down there that they have contact and doing their dirty work. And what I mean about that, dealing like with Diddy. Like with Diddy boy. Y'all, I got to turn this screen off in the back. Hold on a second. Let me turn off this here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me go back up here. Just like old Diddy boy. Did in fact with the physical beating and stuff, yes, he did it. But the dirty work, that's your job. They don't have no love. They want people to love them. But the love that they give to you is basically ordering you around. Hold on a second, you guys. What am I thinking? Here we go. I can use this thing. Ordering you around. Do this and do that, because you will not be nothing. It's because of them. All the people that he order around, look what happened. It ain't nobody's not nothing, and so is he. So we're gonna do a deep dive in here. I'm gonna play a lot with you guys tonight with the witchcraft and everything. You want to be a part of it? You got it. Welcome to Ladies' Night on Thursday night. Y'all know how I get down over here. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's talk about what they got right here.
Them being obviously Masonically designed with many symbols and emblems all over the pieces of art in the museum. And I believe that it's also part of the reason why a lot of people are not allowed into these events, because I personally believe that there are a lot of Masonic rituals that are taking place at these events. You say, well, we can see them. There's cameras in there. No. There are very specific. There's a very few number of cameras that are actually in the event itself. What we are seeing right here on the screen right now is not the event. It's just the photo shoot. The event itself, we never can actually see what's taking place, which I believe is also part of the reason that you have a lot of new up-and-coming artists at these events, such as a Shabuzi and even a Dochi, who, by the way, was wearing the checkerboard pattern on her clothes. And as you know, that is one of the biggest images in Freemasonry, that being the checkerboard pattern, because it's a sign of duality. Because as we've talked about on this channel, Freemasons believe that merging opposites helps a person transcend into godlyhood, right? Or to become a god. That's why a lot of them mostly wear black or wear black and white. And that's why also a lot of them typically have something on their clothing, that of an eye or a bunch of eyes, or maybe they have some sort of one-eye symbolism, such as an eye patch, as you see these individuals wearing. And speaking of one-eye symbolism, the event was actually sponsored by Vogue. And as we know, there have been a lot of Masonic puppets featured on Vogue, magazine covers over the years, all demonstrating and showing the one-eye symbolism in their own way. It's basically a big fashion event to help keep their fashion exhibit going. Each year there's a theme, and every year everyone shows up in outfits based on their theme, right? Which basically sound harmless, which makes a lot of sense. They set a theme, everybody's told what this theme is, and then they show up with these outfits that's associated with the theme. One of the red flags about this event, though, is that just anybody can attend these events. You say, well, yeah, it's only for celebrities. No. Even a lot of celebrities can attend these events. You have to specifically be invited to attend this event. And then once you're specifically chosen for the event, you have to pay $50,000 to enter the event. You say, what's the perks of it? There is no perks. You basically pay $50,000 as a fundraiser to show up, to dress in a way that's supposed to be associated with this so-called theme. But a lot of people look at the Met Gala and say that it's a public display of, these people's power and control and, trying to control certain messages, and they mask it as art. And then on top of that, you always have the gender bending element, right? You always have these so-called straight or so-called heterosexual celebrities that specifically wait for this event to show up in these outfits where it's either super feminine and it's like towing the line and you can't really tell what they were shooting for with this outfit, or they go full on and they'll put on a dress or put on something super feminine and then call it super creative. They call it fashion, the art of fashion or whatever, when we all know that it's clearly not that. Well, this year was no different. But before we get into this year, if you're new to the show, please know we're thirsty to grow and to drink some of this water. If you want to help us out, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But don't worry, I'm going to give you a second to do that. Just hit the like button for me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, in the past, as you can see on the screen right now, we have seen several other celebrities, specifically male celebrities, that either at the Met Gala, right before the Met Gala, right after the Met Gala, seem to put on these outfits or perform in these outfits that are either they're in a dress, a skirt, or something very feminine. Can anybody explain to me if it was so creative?
Hold on a second. You see that? I can believe what I see, but I don't understand why these guys are so thuggish, right? So much with that. Hey, I'm not this, I'm not that, and look at a bust around is there in a dress. And you know what? A lot of this is because that it promoting them. All right, that's getting their name out to invite them to the other party. Because you know what? If you're not inviting to these, you're not inviting it. First thing, you got to have money to get into here. First, you got to start out how you going to get your money. Then you start flipping like that. As it flip and as you be invited and you pay in, like he said, $50,000. I think that's what he said. As you pay on in today, you get deeper and deeper in. I told y'all, money follow money. People say the money is root to all evil. No, it's not. The love of money. The love of money. Not money itself. It's the person. The love of money is the root to all evil. The love of it. Let's go. And did we talk about different things with the Met Gala? I'm going to work with y'all a little bit tonight. And I'm going to show you that when I do find this here, we're going to go deep dive. What happened in the YouTube life? The YouTube. Let him do this here, and then I'm going to pass you on. We're going to talk about what happened in this YouTube life. As you get a certain amount of numbers, how they start inviting you. Let's go. Because when you get those certain amount of numbers, just like that you up there with the celebrity, you got a lot to lose. So you got to play the game. Hold on a second. Here we go. Let Junior talk.
Creative. And if it was such artistic expression, why is it that everybody's wearing the same thing? Why? Why is Russell Westbrook, who gets to have the camera on him before every game, why is it that he waits for this day in particular to put on this dress? Why? Why is it that Cat Williams came out himself and literally said, this is part of the package. This is part of the deal. This is part of what is offered to these celebrities as part of the deal. If you are agreeing to become a celebrity, there are certain things you're going to have to go through, certain things you're going to have to perform, certain things you're going to have to do. And if you don't, there are certain consequences. One of them being you will no longer be a celebrity. You will no longer be allowed to these events. You will no longer be pushed by the mainstream media. You will no longer have our support, amongst other things as well. Well, this year in particular, Shabuzi, who is a lot of people will consider him a country artist. I don't really know what you consider him because he really blends like a combination of hip hop, country, rock, all into one, right? And makes this like super catchy style of music. Well, Shabuzi, who up until this point, just like everybody else, but it's so creative and so unique. Every single time people hop in the comment section and have these stupid things to say, so unique. So he's expressing himself. This is freedom. Shabuzi, just like all these other folks, up until that point, had given nobody any reason to believe that he likes to cross-dress. Had given nobody any reason to believe that he believes in dressing in women's clothing. In fact, he gave us every reason to believe that he believes in God, that he's a Bible-fearing man. Wait for this year's Met Gala to show up in this outfit.
Why does every black man in Hollywood get forced into feminization once they reach stardom? Mind you, the theme of the Met Gala is about black men influencing fashion. So why is he, a black man, dressed like a bohemian woman? And if this was really how he wanted to look, that'd be okay. But this man looks visibly uncomfortable. And after what Cat Williams had to say, I'm asking a lot of questions.
Right, right. And like I told you, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and just include some of those comments. So y'all know I'm not just making this up. These are some of the comments people are saying. This is mind blowing to me, bro. So first and foremost, I would understand if this was actual creativity, if he wasn't doing the exact same thing all these other black male celebrities have done in the past. Literally the exact same thing. How is it creative? How? And why is it that he don't do it until the Met Gala? Why? Y'all, you know it's forced. When if you listen to his interview, bro, he's shouting out like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and different people in the past that, you know, quote unquote, push the limits or always have these super creative expression in their outfits, right? And their fashion. He gave them a shout out. Listen to this dude talk and look how he was moving his head.
Like I see Stephon like wearing a 424 shirt. I'm like, that's kind of hard. I feel like athletes are paying more attention to their style more than ever, you know? Shout out Shea too. Like Shea's always got something crazy on and I'm like 6'5", or something. I mean, most athletes, I'm like, I could have played. I'm like, damn, I could have played first. Man, I put Lil Dicky, YG can hoop too. I hoop with YG. Man, I feel like, me, YG, and Lil Dicky. Nah, Lil Dicky is tough. Go look up Lil Dicky basketball highlights. You'll be surprised.
That is clown behavior, bro. He can barely move. 100% a humiliation ritual. And I'm going to just say this because, again, if I say what I want to say on YouTube, this video will be blocked. There's a reason, y'all. Look at his hands. First and foremost, even if you don't believe in these secret societies or whatever you want to say, you have to admit, when you look at this picture and you look at this video of him taking pictures, it's clearly forced. That's not a natural position that you place your hands in. And that's also not a natural place most men will put their hands when they're posing for pictures. That's where a woman will put her hands, especially if she's holding a purse or a carry bag. He's doing that on purpose. Creativity. How is this creativity when he's dressed like somebody's grandmother doing Sunday service? Look at the hat. Look how it fits his body. That grill is ugly, by the way. It's an ugly grill, bro. That's an ugly grill. It looks too big. It looks disgusting while he's talking with it in his mouth. He looks forced. And by the way, I'm just going to say this for what it's worth. I'm not a huge Shabuzi guy. I've been following him a whole lot. He didn't really break out until last year with his bar song. But I have to say this. To me, you don't have to agree. To me, he looks intoxicated, inebriated. He looked like he's drunk or high off something. And I would be too if I had to go through this humiliation ritual and show up and pretend like this was my choosing. Don't tell me he's doing this for shock value or to get eyes and attention on him so that he can sell more records. Bro, there are other ways to do it. And again, it's not a coincidence that they always wait to these certain events to do this type of stuff, bro. They're emasculating this dude in front of the world. This is part of the package. This is part of the package, bro. I understand that I don't know these people, but I start to take it personally, bro. It almost becomes personal to me as a so-called black man that this only seems to be the way a lot of folks can get there. It's like you're already one of the rare people, the rare so-called black men making country music on a mainstream level. You're already in the rarity of that. Now you're showing us that you couldn't even get there off talent alone. That's what you're showing us, in my opinion. You're showing us that there are other things.
Okay, here we go. Let's talk about this. Didn't I say that? Then I tell you guys it's a reason, and you just don't get up there like that. And everybody who you see with a briefcase and a hand, either with a white coat on, don't be necessary they have went to school. It always is somehow the way how they get you in there. Okay. Yes, the Met Gallery, as you know that it is a symbol of the hands. How the hands like this here? Yeah, somebody knows how the hand go. It's a symbol of that. Whatever that they do, they will show you the photo shoots, but they ain't gonna show you what goes on in the inside. No photographer, all the ones out there shooting pictures, they can't take, and they don't tell you what goes on in the inside. Y'all, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And then let me tell you that the same old thing. A lot of people cannot roll by themselves. They got to have a person, a yes ma'am person, a yes sir person. Yeah, let's do that. Because they cannot do it by themselves. And believe me, this is how some people live their life every single day. Now look at me in here. I'm having a ball. I have 3 people in here, and guess what? I'm having so much fun because you know what? I can give all my attention to my people right here. So anyway, let's go over here. We're going to talk about the satanic ritual of the secret society. Okay. Now right now, what he working on this, y'all remember last year before last, you remember Diddy and Young Miami? Yeah, that's right. You remember she had on he had on the black suit with the cape, and then she had on this black furry thing around here. Oh, you're looking all luscious. That is a part of that ritual and that coat. Mm-hmm. Usually when they leave from there inside, they basically don't come, all on base it in together. Majority of everybody that's in there in that Met Gala is invited to the white party over there to Diddy house. Because in order for you to get $50,000, it shows that you got some kind of trust in you. We ain't talking about the money. You're going to get the money as long as you do exactly what we say do. The money's going to follow. Y'all, just watch this. Just watch this. And what I mean, even down, like how they say with a drug dealer, he got to get it from somebody. He have to get it from somebody. He just can't grow it in his backyard. He have to get it from somebody. And they just keep you coming back for more and more and more in order to get on top. What you going to do when you get up there? 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, let's see how much. Beyonce and Jay-Z went to the bank. They put up their house for $100 million or something. They wanted to go to the UK and take their money over there, but they want to put up their house. Because that, we were going through that, if I can find that video again. Because that because they identified that they have ties over to Diddy and their name is mentioned in their lot. Y'all, they told them hell no. Then they broke it down to drop the money down a little bit for the millions of dollars. They said no. All because of who they associate with. And their name had been dropped. That's so get a fight with Diddy. Diddy hurt a whole bunch of them. His place is no place around here because his name is damaged. Nobody didn't know that they was videoed. And he had all these cameras, even down to his daughters. He had cameras in his daughter room, in their bathroom. What a sick man. I have told you guys, I don't mean to yell at you, but I hope I'm coming through with my voice. Because sometimes when I listen to the replay, it's like I'm so loud. With Diddy kids, they yell, oh yeah, that's my pop. Guess what? They don't even know what love is. But they are happy right now. And I did the little research early part of the evening, especially dealing back with the girls. Now, Chance's mother, allegedly, all this is allegedly, all this basically coming out, this is just alleged. Chance's mother told her what type of man that her father is. Okay? But with the girls, they have heard Diddy and their mama arguing and fighting and breaking down doors and stuff. They have. Them boys, yes, they are scared of they pop. You think so? You gonna have your kids around here and they gonna do something stupid or crazy? How we would do in the normal world, and we'll like pop them upside the head, get your behind in this house. Well, he do his kids like that the same way. Your kids are so happy that they pop, that it's locked up so they can enjoy his money. But guess what? Because they know what type of lady that grandma is, so they won't even most go over there. That's like grandma used to get the kids because I'm close to my grandkids. I look, Because guess what? Grandmama is mean and nasty, just like my daddy. Hold up 1 second, y'all. Let's go somewhere. I ain't gonna keep you so long, Dad. Just want you to hear this here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Something else I want you to, that we're gonna take a look at. Let me go. How did I do that? Okay, here we go. Okay. Let me go ahead. I love stuff like this. Let's go here.
Freemasons. They're the shadowy secret society who's controlling the world behind the scenes. Some of the richest and most powerful people in the world have been members of this order, and they've been using their power to influence and manipulate world events in their favor. At least that's what some conspiracy theorists would have you believe. Depending on who you ask, they're either a cabal of devil worshippers who run the world, or just a club of rich dudes who want to hang out with other rich dudes and drink beer without their wives bothering them. But as with most things, the truth is somewhere in the middle. I'm Dan Tavius, how you doing? And today we're going to be talking about a Freemason lodge called Propaganda Due, or Propaganda 2, that basically took control of the entire country of Italy. And not only that, but they were involved in several scandals and conspiracies around the world. And let me tell you, I'm not exaggerating when I say this is one of the most insane stories you will ever hear. It involves the mafia, the Vatican, and the CIA.
Nearly 1,000 of Italy's elite, including 3 cabinet members, were allegedly members of an outlawed, super secret, super evil Masonic lodge called
Propaganda Due, or P2.
An illegal, ultra-secret political society of Italian Freemasons. In the 1970s, he inducted almost 1,000 of Italy's most powerful men in clandestine rituals here in Rome's Excelsior Hotel.
Politicians, bankers, and mafiosi met here.
The secrecy of Masonic lodges provided the perfect place to conduct shady deals with figures from the business and political elite.
June 18th, 1982. A postal clerk was headed to his job in London one morning when he noticed something strange in the distance. As he passed by London's Blackfriars Bridge, he saw what looked to be a man hanging by his neck under the bridge. And it turns out that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
The man wore an expensive suit and had a Rolex on his wrist. When police searched the body, they found $1,400 in 4 different currencies and a passport with the name Gian Calvini. Well, it turns out the passport was a fake, and the guy's actual name was Roberto Calvi, a prominent Italian banker who was known as God's banker because of his close ties with the Vatican. His passing was officially ruled a suicide by British police, but it was more of an Epstein situation, but we'll get into that later. Roberto Calvi ran one of the largest financial empires in the world, and a year before his passing away, his entire business collapsed. When investigators looked into it, they found out that our boy Calvi was up to some shady stuff. Fraud, money laundering, embezzlement, the classics. The investigation also led police to a guy named Licio Gelli, a big-time mattress mogul. In 1981, they raided Gelli's house and discovered he was the leader of an Italian Freemason branch called Propaganda 2, or P2 for short. They also found a list of every member of his little club, and the people on this list weren't just a bunch of schmucks. The most powerful and influential people in all of Italy were on it, including Roberto Calvi himself. And if this sounds kind of like the plot to The Godfather Part 3, that's because it is. The movie is actually based on these events.
Okay, here we go.
But before we get into all that, let's talk about the history of the Freemasons briefly. But first, a word from our sponsors. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but I lost a little bit of weight recently.
Please clap.
Okay.
You know, the hardest part about eating healthy for me is that I'm a
let's
lazy
go.
things as a couple of schmuck stonemasons. The fraternity eventually grew into an exclusive group of some of the most powerful men in history, including George Washington, Winston Churchill, Colonel Sanders, and Shaq. By the late 1700s, Freemasons were pretty much everywhere, which brings us to Italy. You guys know Italy, right? I cook it a pizza, that place. By the mid-1800s, Freemasons and other secret societies had gained a lot of power and influence, even rivaling the Catholic Church itself. It was during this period.
Okay, you guys, let me tell you something. This year, dealing with the fact that what we do over here, and we learn a lot dealing with the fact with spirituality, what's going on. This is some true stuff. Let me tell you, we always say something. I can see something around my peripheral here, over on the right side of the lights, and then it seemed like I see something. Didn't look like it was my glasses. No. Whenever that is something basic is sent, and even though that we all have our ancestor and all of them is basic, it's got a job to do in protecting us, protecting us, keeping the family whole. Okay, do not let this here fool you. Sometimes if you can't get relaxed on what's going on, just go and just take yourself in a corner and just put a cross in every corner. Okay, all four corners, just put a cross. So you basically clear your mind. Because sometimes I get it here. And like that, if this my class, what is that? Because things just don't come like that. It is a group of them that come. As you know, like say for instance, like some people say, let like the old people say, if you see a mouse, he didn't come by himself. It always brings somebody with them for the mate. So this is dealing with the fact that it's his spirit, and dealing with the fact that they don't come by themselves. They gonna bring somebody with them. We all have them. Hold 1 second. Let's go here.
That Propaganda 1, the precursor to P2, was formed in 1876. So things were going pretty good for Italian Freemasons for a while until 1925, when a fella by the name of Benito Mussolini came to power. He stomped out anything that could potentially challenge his authority and viewed the Masons as a threat. So during Mussolini's reign, the order had pretty much completely dissolved. And after the fascists lost the war, the Freemasons came back and they had to rebuild their order from the ground up. This provided big opportunities for certain individuals. One of those individuals was Licio Gelli, aka King Cobra. Shit, that's a cool nickname. Gelli took control of P2 in the 60s and turned it into one of the most powerful organizations in the world. At its height, the lodge was home to most of Italy's elite class, and P2 had such a tight grip on the country that it was referred to by many as...
Okay, let me tell you something too. I want to get you guys the way how to focus, how to look at this. Look at Diddy. Diddy didn't let Cassie call him Diddy. What she had to call him? Papa. They never did go by their name. They never did go by the name, but did in fact with a businessman, Diddy know who is where. And what they gonna call him? We going out in public, oh, he Puff, Diddy, or whatever that is. But then in fact, those that up under him, and you guys, it's like that. It's a normal thing, like that. Like his kids call him Papa. They also too call him another name. They don't go with people that's under when they are into their ritual or what they are doing. This here a pre-call. Excuse me, what they are doing, it's not under their real name. They're not. Let's go. And I'm pulling up something else because we ain't gonna stay here. We just gonna go around. We're gonna do something. Oh, hold on a second.
It's a parallel government or a shadow government, which it definitely was. They had a hand in pretty much every significant event that happened in Italy in the 70s and 80s and outside of Italy too. And Licio Gelli was the puppet master who controlled it all. So who was this guy? At first glance, he doesn't look very impressive. Big-ass glasses, goofy-ass smile. There's no way this guy could have been the mastermind behind the secret shadow government. Well, looks can be deceiving. You see, the thing you got to understand about Gelli is that the dude was a hardcore fascist. And I'm not saying fascist in the modern sense of the word, which is anybody that disagrees with me politically. I mean a real fascist. He was once quoted in an interview as saying, "I am a fascist, and I will die a fascist." Well, I mean, that doesn't really leave too much room for interpretation. But I mean, you got to give it to the guy. He didn't beat around the bush. I bring this up because it's actually a pretty important part of this story. But let's take a look at how this unassuming looking guy came to his position of power. During World War II, Licio was a big fan of Benito Mussolini. When Italy renounced its alliance with Nazi Germany in 1943, Gelli joined Mussolini and other fascists in the creation of the Republic of Salo, a German puppet state in northern Italy. When the Axis powers were defeated at the end of the war, he fled to Argentina to escape being charged with war crimes, as one does. While in exile, he became friends with Argentina's dictator, Juan Perón, who would later be inducted into the Freemasons by Gelli himself. It's also been speculated that he started working with the CIA around this time. More on that later. After a few years in Argentina, Gelli decided to head back to Italy, where he started a successful mattress company. Then, in 1962, he would officially become a member of the Freemasons, where he quickly rose through the ranks. By 1968, the Freemason leadership decided to make Gelli the head of the once great Propaganda Masonica Lodge, now known as Propaganda Due. But my man Licio had bigger ambitions. He didn't want to just lead some glorified country club where rich old fucks sip martinis and eat gabagool. So he set out to make P2 a force to be reckoned with. Now, in the late 60s to the late 80s, tensions were high in the world. It was a rough time for everybody. The Cold War was going on. Everyone was under a constant threat of nuclear war. But things were especially bad in Italy, where this period was known as the Years of Lead because of the massive amounts of violence and political turmoil.
I'll tell you so that we remember that. If you've been here, I remember that. Okay. How we gonna go? I'm trying to get the fast. I'm trying to get to the one identified with what? I got to give you the one identified with Diddy. Okay, let's go right here.
I was one of the biggest drug dealers, if not the biggest, at a school of like 5,000. Eventually, I was robbing people. One day, I went over to my friend's house. We started doing drugs. I started to feel something so different. I felt the presence of something coming, and then all of a sudden, all I could think about was Jesus. Time was going by, and I kept feeling this thing get closer and closer, like it's about to be over. And I fell out. I'm on the ground, and all of a sudden, I'm in this tunnel full of thorns.
Hey everyone, welcome back to God's Voice. Today, I am Vladimir Proknevsky, and today I'm talking to Jordan Ward, who experienced mind-blowing near-death experience that took him to the very gates of hell and back. He also shares eye-opening insights on music and how the devil is using it to his advantage. Now, if you're part of our God's Voice Today community over at family.godsvoicetoday.com, then you've probably already seen this interview because I made it available several days early for our members. And if you're not in our community yet, what are you waiting for? This community is completely free to sign up. And with over 500 members already there, you'll find tons of like-minded people to connect with. Plus, I share exclusive content, early access to interviews like this one, and we dive deep into real conversations that help us grow together. So join us at family.godsvoicetoday.com. And now let's get ready to hear Jordan's powerful journey into the unknown and back. Let's jump in. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for being on the show. Before you share your near-death experience, I'd love for you to take time and paint a picture of what your life was like before that near-death experience and what your mindset was like.
Absolutely. So yeah, before I gave my life to Christ, like growing up, I didn't really know too much about God. My grandparents were believers. They lived across the country though, so I went to church a couple times with them. But it wasn't until middle school when my parents started going to church. But I didn't understand any of it. It was a big church, easy to just be there and leave. So eventually I stopped going to church. That was like my only real encounter with like being around some real Christians and one of my close friends who was Christian at the time. But fast forward, I started like getting addicted to money. The love of money started a lot in middle school. I started scamming people, and then I started gambling online because there's just different weird ways to gamble as a kid, Bitcoin and stuff. And then when I got into high school, that's when I started to get into an interesting place. I played basketball my whole life, and I broke my ankle really, really bad in 2 places. So I was just going to the practices. I couldn't play, but they still wanted me there. But then eventually I was like, all right, I'm leaving. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm tired. And that's when I started to try and find my identity elsewhere, because that was my identity, was basketball. And I wanted to encounter something supernatural. And that's when I started smoking weed, because I was like, let me do drugs. I hit up my friend. We started smoking. From then on, my life was completely different. I started selling drugs because I already had that addiction to the love of money. Started selling, started doing worse things, worse drugs, until eventually I was one of the biggest drug dealers, if not the biggest, at a school of like 5,000. And it got really bad. Eventually I was robbing people, doing crazy stuff, acting completely out of the character that I know my family raised me up in. And I started making music heavily. So then by the time I was in my senior year, I was able to get posted on some big platforms like World Star, and moved out to Hollywood right when we graduated. I had scholarships to go to school because of my dad, some things that happened in the military, and somehow I was able to keep good grades during the whole time. But I decided I wanted to go to Hollywood and pursue music and fall into to that foolishness, honestly. And while I was down there, I remember going to clubs, doing the same stuff, getting, breaking into stores, getting handcuffed on the streets. But God always kept me. Like, I had many times where I should have went to jail. Like, I was handcuffed on the sidewalk, handcuffed on, against the wall. In some way, the drugs disappear. Like, they're just gone. Like, I had a couple instances where it's like, how did they not see me break into these stores, and they just let me go. So I knew God, he just didn't want me to go down that path. And eventually I moved back to Indianapolis, where I was from. I was still doing the same stuff. And then that's what led into eventually that supernatural encounter there, when I was still in the midst of selling fake IDs and a lot of addiction to like Xanax and different stuff like that.
Hey, if you're enjoying this interview, can you do me a huge favor and do 2 things? Can you subscribe to the channel and like the video? Those 2 things help me spread the message in the YouTube algorithm world. So if you could do those 2 things for me, they'll be awesome. Thank you so much in advance. And now let's get back to the interview. Enjoy.
I was going through a lot of like really interesting, weird things. Like, I started getting deeper into studying witchcraft. But like, I was afraid of it though, like, because I heard enough about God and stuff to at least like have some sort of fear. But like, a lot of the music that I was put on to and that I would listen to with a good friend of mine, they did a lot of witchcraft. They're like Haitian, and they influenced a lot of big artists like underground, and they would speak in demonic tongues. It was just really weird stuff. And that influenced me, and I started to have these witchcraft symbols. I wanted to get tatted on my neck, these certain witchcraft things. And that was like a point in my life where I started to realize, okay.
I want to hold you right there. You guys, if you know it or not, do you know that Diddy got a witchcraft symbol on his back? Yes, he have that on his back. Those that don't remember, we had saw that. There's some video that we were looking at. But right now, we can focus on how did our kids get here, and why are we here? Now we gonna get on to that. Now, little by little, I'm easing you guys over into so till we get to this controlling spirit, and basically like way how that he started identifying with the drugs. The same thing how Jay-Z and what's his name, and Puffy did. So let's go. Thank you guys for joining me. Please hit the like button and share my video.
Okay, if these spiritual things are real, then, like something's going on. And I started having weird dreams after this encounter. But so one day, I went over to my friend's house in Indianapolis, and it was casual day like usual, doing drugs, chilling. Right when I got over there, immediately after we started doing drugs and hanging out, talking, putting something on the TV, I started to feel something so different. Like I felt the presence of something coming, and I felt this sense that I was about to go to prison, like some sort of prison, to be entrapped. And I remember like getting up. I think I told my friend, like, I don't know why I feel this way. Like, I know there's no police coming. I know no one's coming for me, like the cops, because they don't know like anything that we're doing or anything. But like, I feel this way. And I started walking around the room, just walking around, like feeling so weird. And then all of a sudden, all I could think about was Jesus. I didn't know Jesus at all. Like, I've heard of Jesus, I heard about him in church, but I never had like a reverence for Jesus. Like, I was doing a bunch of bad stuff and I didn't really care. But all of a sudden this conviction came to me. And it's so funny. It's so interesting because it's like, why was I convicted of this when I was just like robbing people? Like, not too long before this, but the first conviction that I had was the words I was using in my music, like how I was influencing people in my music. This conviction came over me. I remember literally telling my friend, like, yo, bro, I don't know why I feel like this. Like, I feel like we need to change like how we make music. Like, we need to change something. And then, but that feeling didn't stop of something coming to get me. And it was feeling closer and closer, more urgent. And eventually I went outside. I think he was freaking out too, because he's like, yo, what's going on with you, bro? And I went outside. I was out in the street, pretty much stuck there because I was freaking out. And all I could think about was Jesus in that moment. And I started to say, like, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. For some reason, I knew I needed him because it felt like I was going to die or something was going to happen. I started saying, I love Jesus. I love Jesus. But I didn't know Jesus. I didn't really love him. I was just saying that. So then eventually time was going by and I kept feeling this thing get closer and closer. I only know how to explain it as if it was like a movie. Like, it was just like, you could feel the urgency just shift deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, like it's about to be over. And I found myself in the middle of the street, I believe, or next to a bush or something, right next to the parking. And I felt this thing just come over me. And in that moment, it felt like time had stopped. Before that, it felt like I was like, look, I need to like find some way out. And that was only Jesus. But in that moment, it was like all hope left. Like there was no hope. Like it was over. Like I knew it was over. It was wraps. And I just stood there like dead face. And it felt like time stopped in that moment. And I knew that there's nothing for me. And I fell out. And I usually tell people, like, I don't really know what fully happened. All I know is what happened to me. I don't know if it was a vision. I don't know if I overdosed in that moment, if I did die. But I'm on the ground and all of a sudden I'm in a tunnel, and I'm in this tunnel full of thorns, and I still had some sort of flesh, and I was being pulled through this tunnel. And it was dark, but I wasn't focused on nothing around me.
Oh my God.
What I was focused on was me being pulled through this tunnel and having my flesh ripped over and over again. The worst pain ever felt in my entire life, ever. And in that moment, one of the biggest torments that I had was that I did not know if it was ever going to end. Immediately when I got there, I felt eternity. Like I knew in that moment that like I was going to be somewhere for eternity. I knew that. I had that feeling of eternity once I got there. And as I'm being pulled through this and going through this pain and this torment, I'm hearing a voice speak to me. It's almost as if there was something pulling me and with me and trying to convince to me that.
Okay, here we go. I want to talk to you about this stuff. You remember as when we pray in the morning time, and I always pray about protecting the children, and that when they get out of school, how that water draws you to them, It's the same way that how it draws to it can be somebody that child can see that'll be across the street. That child will go towards that person. Okay? And majority of the time that when they go across that road, it basically like that, they basically like the spirit that leave their body, right? It's taking them to another place. And as they get older, sometimes they take them to a place and you'll dream about it later. So that's why that even down to that water, out there in that water is so many bodies and ships and everything out in the water that's calling those kids, just like calling every swimmer to come. So basically what he's saying, also through their music, you got to really do believe like allegedly, like let's say Mary J, she only sang about hurt and pain that's in her life, just hurt and pain. How this guy did all this type of stuff there, just hurt and pain. And then a lot of us can relate to it. But don't let the music that he made, he got so much sucked up into it to basically that music got into him and basically it took him over to another level. Took him over to another side. This is what you coming out with. This is the music that you coming out, what you are singing. This is what this is at. Let me go back over this again. What you don't know and what you don't understand ain't going to be shown to you. Majority of the time, that's how that you can feel the energy out of these singers and that beat. Okay, all right. So basically, it's the beat. We getting down here, y'all. Let me tell you something. I have gone into church, and something about the music. Somehow that music would draw you in. Certain music and how that the instrument, how they playing, if they draws you in, y'all. I have experienced this here before. And then also too, they identify that when the music stopped, the music just stopped. The church just kept on stomping. Like the music was in it. It was like, and everybody was in there was wearing basic coat. It was like a coat. Right here in North Carolina. I came to a retreat up here. When the music had stopped, the people were started like jumping up and down. I didn't know what was wrong with them, but I know one thing came through my mind. My mom, my sister, everybody was jumping up and down. What are y'all jumping to? What are y'all jumping to? But I wouldn't get up. It's something. So basically, like, they will draw you in one way or the other. They will draw you in. All this here, baby, is basically the evil is the spirit that's in them. Their spirit drawing you into them. You can also bring that energy, the spirit, the energy, you bring that home with you. Next thing you know, you getting them all the money out your purse. You brought it in with your house. It's in your mind. That's what they is in your mind. That's why a lot of church that go all this money they got. I know it was a church down there in West Fort Lauderdale. They had to pay all back then. The choir had to pay $150 a month. Sing in the choir. And they can't get too far behind on their payments. I know a church again didn't pay with their income tax. You can't go nowhere till you get your income tax still here. It's based on cult mentality. It is basic like that. They are feed into it from the beat. You does not hear this here type of beat when you see a real live band up there. It's different type of vibe that this here music industry bring you into. Because they sit here and play with the turntable and do what they gotta do. It just keep you bouncing. Keep you bouncing. But if you let a band go ahead and play their music, and then you dance to the beat, that band know how to cut it off. All right? You there for a show, but when you enter these little cult, like some church, the music ain't gotta play. You just jumping. The music, y'all I experienced this here. The whole church had on something white. And church had started 8 o'clock that night. Then let me tell you, this guy, I guess he's supposed to be the pastor. When he came inside the church, it's not no music. They're playing music at first. Just getting you all, then the music cut out. You started be jumping. Just started jumping up and down. It wasn't, I wouldn't call that it was shouting. It wasn't no music. They just started jumping like they feel the vibe. And then when that guy come in the church, they supposed to be, I guess, the pastor of the church. When he come in, you should see people crying, falling down at his feet. And they just, even down to my grandmother, she started crying. My aunt was crying for what? I could never get. And then I kept saying, man, this is a cult. This is a cult. It draws you in there. It draws you. And it doesn't matter. Once it draws you in there, it doesn't matter. Long as that energy and that beat stays in your mind, that beat stays in your mind. And then also, too, it still remind you how you was there. It will have you to give all your money donated to that church. All of it. And all of it symbolized with what we are doing right here. We getting now to the point that y'all, this is a diddy thing. Y'all know we work on this diddy thing about 5 or 6 hours till we get tired. But lately we've been cutting it very short because I can't take all these beating and a beating and a beating. Okay. Let's go. I'm not gonna pay too much of nobody video too long. Just give y'all an idea what I'm talking about. You know, it's just like that when we hear it. This is just like that we hear in our favorite song. It go over and over. We play it over and over again until the beat is gone. Okay? Well, not the beat. How he said, till the blues is gone. Y'all, it is. That's why, you know, I feel good the way that I am. Because that's why I can spot anything. Because if you have been, hold on a second, you guys. I'm trying to put this here in here. Y'all, I'm gonna find that they're gonna still over here just messing with this here. Don't run for it, just listen to what they got to say. Don't run for it, just listen to what they have to say. Let's talk about this here. Okay, don't run for it, just listen to what they have to say. Don't be afraid of it, just listen to what they have to say.
I was just obsessed with immortality, and that brought me into the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I didn't really focus too much on love spells or money spells. What I liked was curses. And then I was communing with spirits. And I thought I had found the secret. I started growing more power, and then I asked them what's the next step. And that's when they mentioned the destruction of innocence is what they called it. And I wanted nothing to do with it. That's when they wanted to end me because my condemnation was set. It was a for sure thing.
Hello and welcome back to the Almost False podcast, where I interview regular people with incredible stories. Today's story is very intense, and as the title suggests, it does get pretty dark, just so you know. It's a testimony of a man who used to be a Satan worshiper and almost lost his life because of it, both physically and metaphysically. It's a wild ride, but if you've been here before, you know that the stories never end the way that they begin. So let's dive in and hear Christian's story, starting with the moment he first realized that witchcraft was real.
The place that we were in, it was in the middle of nowhere, so far away from civilization. Like our neighbors were so far away from us. So it was quite boring. I remember being bored a lot of the time, just nothing to do. Just me, my mom, my sister. I didn't like my sister. I didn't like my mom for bringing us to this place where there's nobody, there's no fun, nothing to do. And I just spend a lot of time in nature. And that's when I started to look into Wicca. And the internet was a thing, but it was only like Google's Ask Jeeves and, you know, AOL. You would search something and you'd find practically nothing on the thing you're looking for. So I would go and I would visit the library. I would search for esoteric books, anything I could find. You know, I looked into otherworldly religions. I read the Mahabharata, which is the Hindu religion, their book. I looked a little into Islam, but that kind of bored me. I didn't really like that. And I found some books on Wicca, and a lot of Wiccans deal with nature, deal with stones and crystals, particularly, is a big thing in Wicca. And I would spend my nights by the fire doing little light spells with Wicca, and some things would work, some things wouldn't, and I would just write down the things that would work and forget the parts that wouldn't work, and then I would build on and build on to that. So it started with Wicca, and then I had always had an obsession with immortality. That was the thing on my mind. It's like, we live and we die. What's the purpose of all of this? If there's a way to be immortal, I want to know about it. And that brought me into the Egyptian Book of the Dead, other like Jainism, all sorts of different worldly religions that I searched through trying to find the answer. I mean, I even have a tattoo of the eye forest on my shoulder. I was just obsessed with immortality. So I kept searching more books and more books and more books until I had a giant stack of them. I would take all the information from it that I could gather, and I would start implementing them and making spells. And that's when I kind of gravitated towards witchcraft. So after Wicca came witchcraft. And that's when I started seeing spells actually working. Like, a few things in Wicca did work here and there, but not enough that it had an impact on me. But when I got into witchcraft, that's when things started working, and that's what made a big impact on my life at that time. So,
Yeah, well, okay, that's quite a lot already. So you said that you moved at 10 from Toronto to Prince Edward Island, which is very remote. And Prince Edward Island in and of itself is kind of remote, but there's cities, but you were, in the remote part of Canada. And you were bitter to your mom for bringing you there. And you started looking into all these things. Did she ever know? Did you ever talk to anyone about that? Because you talked about Wicca and then witchcraft, and it seemed to be a very fast transition. Did anyone else know about it?
When I was into Wicca and starting to learn about witchcraft, I don't think she did. To be honest, like, a lot of time I was up late at night, looking at the stars, trying to find the right celestial pattern for certain spells that I was doing. She knew I was staying up late, would ask questions about that, but I don't think she knew about it because I just felt like I didn't have to share that with her. It was something that I was learning myself, and even if I would explain it or talk to her about it, I don't think she would have understood. It's possible she would try and stop it, if anything. So I kind of kept it hidden from her and my sister.
Okay. You mentioned Wicca, and I've heard about Wicca, but maybe not everyone's familiar with it. So can you explain, in general terms, what Wicca is, and then what kind of spells would you do in the beginning?
Here we go.
I didn't spend a whole lot of time in Wicca. I just remember the spells a lot related to nature. I remember reading about white Wiccan magic and dark Wiccan magic, which it's all dark, to be honest with you. A lot of them had to do with stones, crystals, like blessing them in a certain way to draw either money to you, draw people to you that you want them to pay attention to you in a love sense, sexual wise. There was a lot of tree worship. There was a lot of fire worship. Like, it's a lot of the elements were a big thing in Wicca. Some of it is also a thing in witchcraft, but I found it was more so in Wicca. And with my love for nature at that time, I felt that was a perfect balance.
Okay.
But I always wanted something more. Like, this wasn't doing it for me. These little spells that sometimes they would work, sometimes they wouldn't, and it was unreliable. So there is something there with Wicca, but I wanted something more than that. So that's when I went straight into witchcraft and started searching out that realm of things.
Yeah, I've noticed that
2 weeks now.
a lot, if not most people that get into witchcraft usually have a very fast progression from, milder things to very intense things. How was it for you? You said you didn't spend a whole lot of time in Wicca and you wanted more. How fast was the process of, changing from one thing to another? And how was the progression of the intensity of the spell and the darkness of it at the same time?
I would say it was probably about a year, maybe a year and a half when I discovered Wicca and then went into witchcraft. because I remember I was playing hockey, and my mom had told me that you will get $2 for every assist that you have and $1 for every goal, which sounds weird because you'd think a goal is worth more money. But she said, no, an assist is as good as a goal. So when I would play hockey games, I would start using basic witchcraft spells that I started using. And, you know, I would be getting assists, goals, left, right, and center. And, you know, I was slowly becoming one of the top players on my team. And, you know, that's when I noticed that witchcraft was kind of working. It's a real life application that it does work. And that also ties into one of my first money spells that I did. And I did the spell, and I was walking in a mall in Summerside, Prince Edward Island, and I found a $5 bill on the ground, and I picked it up. And to me, that was like the first time that's ever happened to me. The only other time I found money was a $2 bill in Toronto as a little kid. So I've never found money just lying there. And $5 was worth a little bit more than it is now, but it was still too weak. I wasn't satisfied with it. I'm like, if this is all money spells brings me, like $2 here, $4 on a hockey tournament, $5 bill walking around finding that, I didn't want that. What I was feeling inside me at that time, I was angry. I was mad at everybody. I hated my sister. I hated my mom. I hated any people at school. I hated most of my teammates on my hockey team. I was just a very angry individual. Like, if you looked at me wrong walking down the road in town, I would come up to you and I would confront you.
Your mind can move a whole lot of things for you. Is this a big side? What is that? Your mind can do. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Oh, it's like, yeah, I'm doing something right here. Here we go. We're gonna go here. This is a short here. You remember, you guys, I told you, I said that with Diddy, let me make sure you guys in. You remember I told y'all, I said, y'all, you know something didn't fight with Diddy. I say Diddy goes over there to Haiti, and he do a lot, didn't fight with witchcraft. I told you guys that. So I go in here and I just put in here just thinking. I'm trying to go through every little thing because I'm trying to find this here bird. And what's exactly what this here bird do and how they work with this here bird, okay? So then I came across just right here, Diddy fight with Diddy. And this is, I told you he had this symbol on his back. Let's go here and let's see what the hell is he doing.
I come from a voodoo background.
Okay. Diddy has this tattoo on his back.
His back.
Really? Diddy has this old tattoo.
Let me see. This really his back?
Yes, his back.
He ain't tatted up like that.
Yes, he is.
So you think Diddy do a voodoo?
Absolutely. Ezuli Danto, which is the mother, the brave one, the fighter. And then we have Ezuli Freda, which represents love, material.
So do you think Diddy gonna go to jail?
At the end of the day, karma exists and you're gonna get yours. In every discipline, I call voodoo a discipline. In every discipline, there is good and bad, yin, yang.
A lot of people use voodoo to hurt someone that hurt them.
They call them loi, the spirits.
So the dolls that they, the little dolls that they stick.
Voodoo dolls.
Yeah, voodoo dolls.
Let me tell you.
Is that real? Like, is that a real thing?
Absolutely.
Because, we see it on the movies.
But not as dramatic as the movies.
We use things to have our men come home.
To lure.
At the end of the day.
We do voodoo. I come from a voodoo background.
Okay. Diddy has this tattoo.
Really?
Diddy has this old tattoo.
This really his back?
Yes, his back.
He ain't tatted up like that.
Yes, he is.
So you think Diddy do a voodoo?
Absolutely. Ezuli Danto, which is the mother, the brave one, the fighter. And then we have Ezuli Freda, which represents love, material.
So do you think Diddy gonna go to jail?
At the end of the day, karma exists and you're gonna get yours. In every discipline, I call voodoo a discipline. In every discipline, there is good and bad, yin, yang.
A lot of people use voodoo to hurt someone that hurt them.
They call them loi, the spirits.
So the dolls that they, the little dolls that they stick.
Voodoo dolls.
Yeah,
And
voodoo doll.
let
yeah.
me tell you.
Is that real? Like, is that a real thing?
Absolutely.
Because we see it on the movies,
But not as dramatic as the movies.
We use things to have our men come home
To lure.
at the end of the
We
day.
do voodoo. I come from a voodoo background.
Okay.
Ooh, I guess so. I hope that answered a little question that I had said.
Rumors of Diddy's involvement with voodoo go back to the 90s. In a post on Lipstick Alley, a woman describes witnessing a voodoo ritual performed by Combs and his entourage, which brings us to the tattoo, the one on his back. If you look carefully at this image, you can see a scar on the woman's face.
Yes,
And it is this scar that identifies her as the Haitian voodoo spirit Azili Dantour. She is a fierce protector of her followers, and she is a wise businesswoman helping her followers attain opportunities and luck. In an Instagram post, he wrote, "I got the front and she got my back." And as Diddy's secrets unravel, it's looking more and more like Azili Dantour no longer has his back. Because above all, she is a symbol of rage, specifically the rage of darker-skinned Black women, especially those who suffer domestic violence and sexual abuse at the hands of their spouses. In this role, she brings justice by stripping the abusers of their wealth. Rumors of Diddy's involvement with voodoo go back to the 90s. In a post on Lipstick Alley, a woman describes witnessing a voodoo ritual performed by Combs and his entourage, which brings us to the tattoo, the one on his back. If you look carefully at this image, you can see a scar on the woman's face. And it is this scar that identifies her as the Haitian voodoo spirit Azili Dantour. She is a fierce protector of her followers, and she is a wise businesswoman helping her followers attain opportunities and luck. In an Instagram post, he wrote, "I got the front and she got my back." And as Diddy's secrets unravel, it's looking more and more like Azili Dantour no longer has his back. Because above all, she is a symbol of rage, specifically the rage of darker-skinned Black women, especially those who suffer domestic violence and sexual abuse at the hands of their spouses. In this role, she brings justice by stripping the abusers of their wealth. Rumors of Diddy's involvement with voodoo go back to the 90s. In a post on Lipstick Alley, a woman describes witnessing a voodoo ritual performed by Combs and his entourage, which brings us to...
Tonight, I want to visit the life of Sean Combs. Someone recently sent me this picture here, and it caught my attention because this image here is a very sacred image in the religion of Vodou, the religion of 21 divisions. This is known to represent the spirit Ezeli Dantour. Some refer to it as Ezeli Mapiang. Now, in the religion of Vodou and 21 division, this is a spirit that is very revered and known to protect women. So many people have been saying the reason for P. Diddy's misfortune has been because of his abuse of women. Now, what do I think?
Let's go
I
back
have
over here
no
one more
dog in
time.
this fight.
Okay, let's go back over here. You see this here? With that symbol, it will bring them wealth. It'll bring whatever that they need. But it is a woman, and the woman do have a scar in her face. But whenever that you go and abuse women, this is going to come back on you. So he thinking, so when he putting that on that, yes, it protect you for your wealth, but also too, it is a woman. It's a woman that's been beat. She have a scar in her face. But whenever that you do that, when you actually hit a woman, come on, somebody, it's just like that you hit in her. So of course that you got to pay. So basic, for what I get, it doesn't matter what kind of voodoo that you do. When the time is come, it have no come. That's it. Everybody get a date. Everybody have, if you grow good seed, a bad seed, whatever that you grow, whatever that you plant, that's what you're gonna grow. That when he put that lady on the back, somebody on thing he put that lady on the back for like he say, he got the front and she got the back. But somebody ain't tell him what this is all about. When you hit Cassie and hit everybody, it's just like you hit that woman right there. And she's not going to take it anymore. Let's go. I tell you, we're going to come back. I mean, I knew I was going to find it some kind of way. No way.
Ever been to a Diddy party?
I have.
Okay,
I have.
We got something to talk about tonight.
You definitely have something to talk about tonight. I did go to a P Diddy party. I was invited.
Okay, yeah, let's the Diddy party.
What you need to know about a P Diddy party is all type of crazy is going on in the P Diddy parties. You know all that crazy you see on TV about the magic and all. Do you know anybody that do voodoo?
I've heard of it.
Okay, all of that is going on in the P Diddy party.
They're doing voodoo.
Oh, they're doing some crazy.
There we go. Then I tell you, and also too, but in these cult, when they go down into their meeting place where they go out, it don't be nothing down there, nothing but sweat. Diddy do not want no air condition on anything. Diddy want more heaters in the room and turn on the heat. That based on how with that heat, it's a zombie style. You never see no zombie have the air conditioner on. Most zombie that you see, especially when they doing voodoo, they have the stuff on their face, powder, whatever they put on their face, whatever kind of powder that they put on their face, and basically like someone when they talk, you can see like the powder, smoke, whatever coming out their mouth. So and then guess what? It's no lights on. There's no lights on. The only lights on is the candles, or either it's a red light that he have on. That's the first that you see. It will mess you up. Let's go. All this is allegedly. I hope that we get to learn something. We trying to track down the. I told y'all. And I'm gonna tell you something else. The voodoo priest comes over here, get paid big money. The voodoo priest don't told him. If you get in the time, it's not gonna get much time. Because you still got to pay. Hold on a second. That's what she ain't telling. Here we go.
Them parties. Man, look. PD don't reach out to you himself. He have his people reach out to you. So it can be confidential. You know what I'm saying? Walking through the party. So I get in the party. Oh, I see all type of crazy going on. They peeing on folks over here in this corner. They over Young Miami. They mouth in this corner. They over there. They just doing all type of. I mean, it was.
Ever been to a Diddy party?
I have.
Okay,
I have.
We got something to talk about tonight.
You definitely have something to talk about tonight. I did go to a P Diddy party. I was invited.
Okay, yeah, let's the Diddy party.
What you need to know about a P Diddy party is all type of crazy is going on in the P Diddy parties. You know all that crazy you see on TV about the magic and all. Do you know anybody that do voodoo?
I've heard of it.
Okay, all of that is going on in the P Diddy party.
They doing voodoo.
Oh, they doing some crazy in them parties. Man, look. PD don't reach out to you himself. He have his people reach out to you. So it can be confidential. You know what I'm saying? Walking through the party. So I get in the party. Oh, I see all type of crazy going on. They peeing on folks over here in this corner.
The trial of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs has started, and so have talks about his Black Madonna tattoo. The Black Madonna in Haitian Voodoo is regarded as Maîtresse Erzulie Dantour. There are many images of Erzulie Dantour, but she is swift with justice, she is fierce, and she is a protector of women and children. Many people find it quite odd that this image would be his choice to be tattooed on his back. And many wonder, how did Sean Diddy Combs come to know about this image? Many are speculating that it was Harve Pierre, his president of Bad Boy Records, who is of Haitian descent.
Let me give you something.
But regardless of who...
Okay, let me give you something idea. When you find names like Pierre and Baptiste, watch out, okay? Pierre and Jean Paul, watch out. When they have those names like that, they base it into the voodoo priest. Like with this Pierre, I could have thought about that. That was a Haitian. That was Haiti. Baptist, a lot of their name is named Jean Paul. A lot of them named is Baptist. It's not too many. It just basic. I would say it's basic like about, let's say they somehow or another get hooked up on like into American or marry somebody else, but when they coming straight from their island, down in the history, they got some Jean Paul, Pierre, Baptist. You know exactly where they coming from. Because the last name, their name can tell you who they are. Yes, they are voodoo priests. We're going to get down to it and see what the hell is going on.
Who introduced him to Erzulie Dantor? One thing is known for sure. Maîtresse Erzulie Dantor does not play when it comes to women and children, and could be the reason why Sean Diddy Combs is experiencing what he is now with the legal troubles. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bobo.
Okay, let's do this again.
The trial of hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs has started, and so have talks about his Black Madonna tattoo. The Black Madonna in Haitian Voodoo is regarded as Maîtresse Erzulie Dantor. There are many images of Erzulie Dantor, but she is swift with justice, she is fierce, and she is a protector of women and children. Many people find it quite odd that this image would be his choice to be tattooed on his back. And many wonder, how did Sean Diddy Combs come to know about this image? Many are speculating that it was Harve Pierre, his president of Bad Boy Records, who is of Haitian descent. But regardless of who introduced him to Erzulie Dantor, one thing is known for sure. Maîtresse Erzulie Dantor does not play when it comes to women and children, and could be the reason why Sean Diddy Combs is experiencing what he is now with the legal troubles.
All right, now.
Let me know what you think in the comments.
I'm what you call a dick dyke on Carter Grave. If I'm gonna be a stud, I'm the stud that sneaks off and go fuck with men on the side.
Diddy party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to go to Prince's house to the Diddy party where Tyrese is performing and Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher are swinging on swings. That is what's happening on the other side of the wall. And so the one thing that makes this party different than a Jamie Foxx party or any other celebrity party that wrangles a bunch of young women or guys or whatever too, is that Diddy didn't let you bring your security in the party. That is the one thing that I thought was odd because, you know, I came one time with my security and no other security other than Diddy security is allowed to be inside the building. I mean, I saw Jay-Z and TD Jakes in there, every major celebrity you can think of who may or may not get along, may be on the other side of that gate with no security. And so now as you see this unfold, my wonder is, well, why weren't people able to have their protection?
Diddy threw one of his wild freak-off parties. But get this.
Look at the color.
It was at Prince's mansion, and Prince wasn't even there. He knew better than to get caught up in Diddy's chaos. Instead, Prince flipped the whole game on him. Hidden cameras were set up all over the place, recording every single thing Diddy did that night. Prince wasn't just watching. He was collecting receipts, planning to expose Sean Combs big time. Going up against the entire industry ain't for the weak, and Prince was ready to risk it all to bring the truth to light. On Thursday, prosecutors dropped another bombshell, an audio clip of Prince breaking down his whole plan and how he already knew Diddy would try to come for him. This wasn't just a warning, it was a declaration.
Okay, the recording ended with words that sent chills through the... Did a fight with Prince. They said Prince died with drugs, or whatever the case would be. We know that Prince really is a deacon. You can tell, looking at his eyes, that certain things he don't eat. Prince was killed during a ritual. Voodoo killed Prince. See, one thing about dealing fight with this voodoo and dealing fight with Haitians, and I'm going to tell it, allegedly, I'm going to tell it, they won't control. They try to teach you to take over. They want to take over everything. That's why when they leave from their country and they come over here, they act like this country owe them something. This is the best country that it is. But when you want to go dinner fight with taking life, somebody take your man, all this other, they all hit to Haiti. We're going to talk about New Orleans. I'm bored. You let me know. You guys still here with me? How you doing? You still here with me, self-love? Now, here we go. Let's go over here. All of them know about it. All of them got tied. This is a secret society. This is their little secret. All of them got transitioned to Haiti. Haiti is the #1 wickedest country that is. New Orleans have it, but it ain't like Haiti. Depends on how y'all tired of being like. I want to take y'all through some things, how Haiti goes and how bottles and all this type of stuff buried here, this, that, and other, taking people's lives that's over here in America. It's here. Prince ain't just died like that. Prince know the end of time coming. Just like how this young man was saying, how he felt different. He was seeing something, all this stuff. That's what basically what was going on with Prince. But during this time that Prince was going through this thing, I don't want that to come on. Believe me, he was praying something. In order for you to make it to the top with these people, only so many of us can get to the top in their eyes. But guess what? It won't be you. They had to get rid of Leah to put Beyonce there. Oh yeah, we gonna work. They do the same thing. The Kardashians, they do the same thing. And all roots and everything heads back to Haiti. I'm trying to tell you something. They're not gonna do too much dealing with the country. Even down to India, they got theirs. They're not going to do too much dealing with their country. They will go outside the country, even down to his boys. And the girls was talking about the voodoo. He thinking so that was on his show, that he put on back, it was for protection. Yeah, exactly what I said. He got the front and she got the back. But guess what? You didn't do it. No woman gonna go on your back, and every time that you hit her, it's like you hitting that woman on your back. When she got a scar in her face from abuse. That's why that child is there. Just like how you said, it's a protection. But your mama couldn't tell you that. You had to wait till your ass get behind damn bars and listen to Dovey. And don't told your ass that. Why would you want to put a woman on your back and then go and abuse a woman? Seem like more like me for what I understand. The woman is there for good luck. Because a man can't not walk alone. Every successful man is a woman behind him. You get it? Every successful man is a woman behind him. I'm getting them there. You just can't do it by yourself. Because guess what, men? Because you're too dumb. See, a woman, we think things over. A man, let's get this damn dollar. I don't care. A woman usually think things over. You remember what Cassidy had said the other night? You remember she told them when they saw Suge Knight over there to Mel's Diner, prop over there to Dovey's Kitchen, okay? What did they say? What did they say? Let's go and get him. What did Cassidy do? She started praying, saying, no, something terrible. Don't do it, don't go. A woman is there is for your protector and to stand by her man. But you don't put no woman on your back and she's there with you 24/7. She's there with you and you're going to beat her up. And then you're supposed to grow. Let's go.
Courtroom. If anything happens to me, make sure this gets to the right people. This isn't just about protecting myself, it's about protecting everyone who hasn't been able to speak.
So Diddy was just eliminating his competition or anybody who got in his way. What a menace P. Diddy was. I feel blessed never having to encounter something as evil as him. All right, if you didn't know, now you know. There you have it. That's
the city party I went to was at Prince's house. So you want to...
Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Let me tell you something. Y'all got to listen to it. You know why? You know why Brianna spent a lot in her country? Dealing back with the industry. Brianna knows Rihanna. Yeah, Rihanna knows. And her mother knows how wicked and evil this is. Yes, she got out here. And she did a lot of foolish things. Yes, she was one of Jay-Z artists. And usually the producer gonna knock you off first before anybody does. Allegedly, they said did in fact with Rihanna and Chris. Shoot, I forgot what his name. Chris. He in trouble now. Anyway, he on tour. What is his name? Chris Brown, right? Chris Brown. Because that she had on infected him. They both were fighting in the car. She know what time it is. Her mom reeled her back in. And then her with those kids reeled her. But yes, she was something else. Even on the stage, she said that she can't get on the stage unless she have her bottle of Hennessy right there for she to drink. All that is devil work. Just devil work. Let's go. See, what do we got here?
Put pepper on toilet paper.
No,
and
You might think that it's impossible.
I was watching the P. Diddy trial. Some nigga named The Punisher came in there yesterday.
Okay, let's go.
Was he running around bad boy back in the days, murder? A nigga named The Punisher. Who was The Punisher? Was he security inside back in the
Okay, here we go. Let's go here. This is one of the rituals that they were. Okay, we ain't got long with this here. Here we go. I told you we gonna find out what's wrong with that damn boy. You around here. This is Haiti. Hey there, Atlanta girl. How you doing, my darling? Welcome, big up yourself. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel. We get here down to the bottom. We're the back with Diddy and it's a voodoo. Y'all gonna pull out this word. He did it from Haiti. I told y'all. I told you Miss Dover gonna find it.
Everything is one on voodoo. Everything is one in life. So when they kill the bull, it's not really a sacrifice. It is what we call au partage. Au partage is a sharing. We're sharing, what we have.
But they cannot do that here. Every part of that animal is basically like.
Et dans vos doigts, il y en a qui te permettent. Ça veut dire, ouais, ça et ça qui fait nous faire, qui fait nous fort, il est obligé d'utiliser des campagnes d'évangélisation.
They get a part of it to be.
Each place has a meaning. They need to go into the back.
Y'all, this is true. We're getting down to the problem in the fact with Diddy.
So you know mercy. She's like having like a breathing thing like this.
Yeah.
Oui.
Est-ce que le docteur a dit déjà?
She's been driven to the hospital already.
She's in the hospital.
Yeah, then it'll be done.
Il y a un qui a encore des sous du tout. Comme si belle femme sociale, ou pas besoin de faire.
Don't be afraid.
Pas trop fort. Nous connaissons moins allergie.
A little bit.
Petit crasse. Li faible. La liberté nous
Okay, guys, let's go. Let me go in there.
Moun yo pa ben kre
Let me
nan
go- let me-
vodou.
let me
Vodou
take that
se mwen, son symbole ki symbolize, se pon diabliye, son attirance.
Okay, let's go. See what I'm talking about? Hold on a second. Hold up. Just for her to come there. Hold on a second. Let me get a. Okay. $60,000 for her to come. Hold on a second. Okay, I don't want that to play yet. For her to go over there to Haiti to get that cash off of her because. Okay, I don't want to put us too far ahead. In order for her to go, listen to what I say. In order for her, look how much you call it Haiti. Everybody's business. Everybody's about the money. Haiti is the #1 voodoo country that it is. Look how much that they charge because a mother cannot breathe. The mother is sick and the mother cannot breathe. The mother having short of breath. Okay. The lady said, "Did you take your mother to the doctor, to the hospital?" She said, "Yes, she's still in there." Then the priest, the voodoo priest, said to her that she was evil, had a spirit on her, and he had one on him. She said that let her see your stomach. Usually, let me tell you what you do. Y'all gotta come here. Y'all gotta come here. Either y'all need to stay at home. Y'all need to come and go with me. In her stomach. It's where how the voodoo priest. Y'all got to see me. I don't know why my lights coming. My lights are coming. I don't know what's going on with my light. In her stomach. Let's say this is her stomach. Hold on, let me see your stomach. They can rub down her stomach. And they would come and tell you, you got snakes. They were also too heavy to wear that. They can put it in their hand. It's like that. You know how that your stomach goes like this here? They can have it like, and then we know how it goes like it's like a spiral. They can go and rub your stomach like this here and tell you that you can't have no children, that got to come out. You got snakes in your body. Just for her to get that off of that lady, she asked for $60,000. Because guess what? Not only that in that country, it's hard. It's hard in all our countries. Not only that over there in that country, it's hard. But when other countries come there, they come there for help. And they know that is the #1 voodoo spot that it is. When I seen that thing on Sean back, I said, wait a minute, I don't saw that picture. I don't saw that. But I didn't know that it was tied over to Haiti. Now, y'all got to come on. I'm going to take you somewhere. I'm going to, okay, now we know that the Haiti, they deal with the cow and the goat, and they tell you that they don't. They telling you a lie. No, why? Because they don't got over here and they don't been trained, but not to stay over here. When allegedly, with that Trump did say that they eat the people animals. Y'all, when they came here in 70, 71, I remember when they came in here. Natural. I grew up around voodoo practicing with my grandma and my mom and my auntie. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I did too. Mm-hmm. That's all right. That's okay. You being a native. This is what he did. In America, it's not like what Haiti do. Now, let me tell you something. Jamaica don't get no pass either now. Now they the black magic. Okay, so that's a total. But one thing about Jamaica is the #1 religious country that it is. Haiti is #1. Haiti will get you. Haiti. Come on, somebody. I had a friend back in, I said 80, 81, 82, 80. 79 or 80. Her mother married a Haitian man. But the man also too had a wife over into Haiti. Wife and children. But he married, my friend. They live across the street from us. Somehow or another, there we go, another Charles. Somehow or another, this Charles guy had died. And they had the funeral. And then somehow or another, they had the voodoo priest and all this to come over to the house. And it was told to him that he is not dead. So he walking around in Haiti. So yeah, he's in Haiti walking around. Let me tell you something. I have not experienced this here. All this is what they get there. But yes, you guys know I do dress candles. Yes, I do dress candles. And you know, I love me, and I'm going to do everything for the take to protect me. Now, when I do, I said that there is dead. They're walking around here. Yes. Yes, Gail. Yes. Yes. Let me tell you something, Gail. They would go and tie up their kids. Y'all got to come here. Y'all got to come here. Let's talk. Let me talk to you. This is just this is like a little story time. Haitian people and Jamaican people, when they see, like, for instance, I gotta say this, like, y'all heard me saying this is not being angry, this being just being for what I know. With Ugly baby, look like how does she look? Ugly got 3 kids, and something wrong with all 3. All right, something is wrong, all 3, from 3 different daddies. And I think 2 of them is from a Haitian man. The Ugly have breaks down, and she said that the man won't come and give her a break nor take the baby out anywhere. The little girl's a lot of work. A lot of work. That is a curse to them. When they see a child, Gail, right? That is a curse to them. When they see a child, if something don't happen, somebody curse you somehow, and then it gets to the child. And for you to have, 3 kids from three different baby daddy, then that's saying that it's not them, it's you. And coming from the same mama, them there, they call that, including in Jamaica, they call that a curse. Oh, Gail, go on about your business. Don't tell me, Gail, go on about your business. That is a curse to them. He is not going to take her around his family. He's not. They are ashamed of that. Is a curse to them. They have. Y'all, we working on Haiti. We getting somewhere with the Diddy thing. We already see he practicing witchcraft because he got it on the back of his back. But what do you think when he got that thing on his back? It's for protection and to love the woman and the child. But he beat the woman and the child. Now he must pay. Listen up. Oh, my mouth. It is a seed. Sometimes when a woman put on a lot of weight, it ain't a lot of weight in the fact that you fine and you big, fat, and fine, baby. Something is going on with you. And if you go over to Haiti, they'll let you know there's a bunch of snakes and a whole bunch of stuff. Because let me tell you, you can curse somebody. curse somebody and say all this about him. And if you go down and you just go into a meditation, that can work with you. They will mess your body up. That's why most guys that's over here, they wife get them back if they have to let them be a zombie in Jamaica. I mean, a zombie in Haiti. Now we're gonna go here. I'm gonna tell you again. We're gonna see about how they tie their kids up. They tie their kids up like how uppity a child is. They would tie her up if she was in Haiti. I'm not talking about if she was in Haiti. Depends on the parent over there. The grandparents, whoever over there, they won't let that child in the house. They will tie that child up. They don't want that evil spirit in the house. They will put a chain around her and have her chained up like a dog. Yeah, I can't make it up. I'm telling you. Allegedly, self-love. I can't make it up. They would tie that child. That child would have a chain around her neck out the door, and they'll still be in the house praising God, whoever that they talking to in their language. And the child like that evil. Then you evil. Now let's go here. Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. Okay, let's go right.
Look at it from a perspective of a person that goes to church. That person goes to church on Sunday, but they pray on a daily basis. So we can look at the law, serving a law in the same light. There may be specific days that are due to them, but it is not necessary or mandatory that that be the only time that we serve them. Look at it from a perspective of a person that goes to church.
Let's see how many we got it. Here we go. Let's go.
You probably heard about voodoo magic or voodoo dolls when watching horror films. It is commonly referred to as black magic. Many people believe that voodoo dolls are some kind of evil art magic that involves injuring someone with poor intent, sacrificing animals, and casting spells. But we know very little about the reality of voodoo or voodoo dolls. Let us look back in time to understand more about the voodoo or voodoo doll. The term voodoo is a combination of two religions. It has roots in both Christianity and African mythology. It first appeared when Africans were forced to convert to Christianity while working as slaves on American islands. As a result, the term voodoo was created. Voodoo dolls are much more complicated than they look. For starters, a voodoo doll wasn't made to harm. Picking pins from a doll or puppet and then using them to transfer energies to the other creature was used to heal people's specific body parts. The voodoo doll is neither harmful nor evil, but the person who uses it can turn it evil and dark. According to voodoo practitioners, souls are neutral and have neither a good nor a negative side, but they might worsen depending on who uses them. However, voodoo priests admit that not all of them are powerful and will recommend modern medicine and a good doctor's treatment if the situation is beyond their control. To practice voodoo doll magic, the practitioner would require certain items, such as a doll made of materials that look like a human figure. To attach it to the doll, they'd need some part of the person on whom they'd perform the magic. Another common myth is that animal sacrifice occurs during the voodoo ceremony. People think that voodoo practitioners sacrifice animals to please spirits. Spirits like witnessing the animal's painful deaths and blood loss. It is essential to kill the animal after performing voodoo magic, which is completely insane. But in Islam, black magic is completely prohibited because it is the act of Satan and very harmful to humans. A Russian black magician said in an interview that his magic does not work on true practicing Muslims.
It's more difficult to influence a person if he keeps his thoughts in purity.
Yes, absolutely. When faced with various religions, it is very difficult to influence Muslims. They are in a constant connection with the egregore. They do namaz every day and read prayers on a daily basis. They are constantly under some kind of a dome, so it is very difficult to influence them. When you start impacting a person, he begins to address in a prayer. Indeed, many of them are very different from those who come to church only when everything is bad in their life. They come to pray and then for 5 years they forget about God, some canons, and so on. Muslims, as a rule, passionately believe and passionately give energy to their egregore, and this egregore protects them very well. That's why it is very difficult to work to make any kind of influence on a true Muslim believer.
Is this some kind of a good egregore?
Well, for them, yes. This egregore is good for adepts who contribute good energy to it.
How do you sense it? For instance, you have found an energy trace of such person. What's next? Do you try to drag him somehow to visualize this threat and you fail? Or how do you do that?
It disappears. I cannot get a grip on it. I focus on it, but something immediately knocks me out of the flow, just like that. Or I visualize a person in front of me clearly and can affect him even at a mental level, but some image is not created in my mind at all. I even look at a photo, reproduce an image, but it vanishes from my mind. Thus, I can clearly see that a person is covered with something.
Does this only work with Muslims?
It does for me.
What are your views on
Wow,
this?
that is
Tell us
great.
in comment section.
Let's go. Let's see what we got here. We're going to work over here. We're going to go and see so much that New Orleans have to say about what they be doing over there. Okay, here we go.
I'm Adam Guest. I've been to 30 plus countries. I speak 9 languages, and my goal is to show you the coolest things in the world. These are my arcade adventures. Hey guys, we're here at Voodoo Authentica in New Orleans, and we're about to learn about what real voodoo is, because it's not really what Hollywood wants you to think it is. Let's go check it out.
Hi, folks. My name is Belfazar Ashanti-son, and I am a New Orleans voodoo priest. Like many other things Hollywood has gotten its hands on, it has sensationalized it and broadened aspects that just simply weren't true in voodoo.
So in fact, the Hollywood voodoo style
Stick a pin in.
stick a pin and they feel it, that's a myth.
That's a myth.
Okay.
The dolls can be practically used for any purpose. However, when they were first incorporated in, they were incorporated in as a record-keeping device. Example, say you were out riding a horse one day, you fell off, you hurt your shoulder. You'd be brought to somebody like me, any of the root workers at the time. We would use herbs, oils, roots, and prayer work, most effectively in this area, Psalm 89, to effect a healing. We would take a piece of the outfit you were wearing, make a doll out of it, stick a pin in the shoulder, stick it on the shelf. Next time you came back to see me, I'd tell you, go get your doll. You'd bring me that doll. I'd see that pin in the shoulder. I'd say, okay, we worked on your shoulder last time. This is what we're working on now. We're going on to something else. The voodoo doll is actually our incorporation of the European puppet. And it came about when indentured servants here in America started leaving their practices and practicing alongside voodoo practitioners. They brought some of their tools with them, like the voodoo doll. And in honesty, there is no set standard of voodoo dolls. Okay? If you were close enough to the city centers where you could get cloth regularly, you might make a cloth style doll, like Mr. Man or the Black Cat Juju. But if you were out in the boonies and the bayous, the swamps where the traitors worked, you would make a stick and moss doll. There's several different traditions that came by way of the slave trade. And the reason there are so many is because everywhere the slave trade landed, a new form of voodoo cropped up. My version of consultation is using cards because it's easier for people to identify with cards. If I, example, pick 3 cards. All right. I would use these to give you this message. Follow your heart a little more closely. Okay. Means don't edit for sensationalism, edit for truth. This is our Marie Laveau wishing altar. It is the oldest active Marie Laveau altar in the city. We've had one ever since we opened our doors in 1996. Marie Laveau was a New Orleans native and never went to Haiti, so she would never have been called Mambo, which when you first meet Marie Laveau in American Horror Story Kevin, she says, check, see if the Mambo in. Marie Laveau was never a Mambo. She was never a Haitian initiate. She was a New Orleans voodoo priestess.
My visit to Voodoo Authentica made me realize that voodoo has been made to seem like witchcraft by Hollywood, but really it's just a religion. Voodoo believers even have their own version of gods that they pray to. So if you're ever in New Orleans and your friends start freaking out about voodoo dolls, now you can tell them what they're really for.
Okay, wait a minute, hold on a second. Okay, hold on a second.
Did you know that right here in the French Quarter of New Orleans, a wealthy white woman forced enslaved black people into a horrific torture chamber? Or that a group of Italian Americans who were wrongfully accused of murder led to one of the largest mass lynchings in American history? Or that Louisiana Cajuns only ended up in the bayou because...
Okay, here we go. Let's go here.
Hi, it's Thomas. We're in East New York outside a basement voodoo temple run by a priestess named Mama Edeline. Tonight she's going to be summoning the same fiery spirits that helped the Haitian slaves overthrow their French masters in the early 1800s. Maybe this will kick off something fiery for us. Voodoo started in Haiti as a clandestine way for African slaves to practice their traditional religion. When the French tried to force Christianity down their throats, the slaves simply took the major spirits, or Loa, and matched them with the Catholic saint they most closely resembled, then pretended to worship those guys instead. Do you have to know a spirit for it to possess you? Do you have to ask it to?
All of us on earth, we are spiritual someone. The spirit likes you, you want to live in you, you get possessed by the spirit.
Is it possible I'll be possessed by one of these spirits, or will it be?
I don't know, it depends on them.
In Haiti, a divine spirit is called a Loa.
There are 121 Loa in the voodoo universe. Tonight's mass was focused on summoning the Petros, fire spirits, to possess or mount the people in the room. Then to let them speak through their bodies and offer advice and blessing.
Possession is the psychic phenomenon which occurs when the divinity becomes manifest.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I walked away to get some coffee. Get me some coffee. How y'all doing?
There are many subtle gradations of salutation, and these indicate the relative authority of the persons involved.
The first possession of the night was Ogun, the same Lo summoned in the lead up to the Haitian Revolution, and actually the spirit who told the slaves to
subscribe to my channel.
Ogun is a warrior spirit, heavy smoker and rum drinker, and associated with fire and iron. So when he mounts a person, it usually leads to a lot of machete play and burning things, including money, which practitioners offer him from their pockets for luck. This may seem to us like a bunch of voodoo rum talk, but the day after our ceremony, one of the women in the room played the lottery using the visible numbers from the half-burnt bills on the floor and won $500. So there you go.
The way she behaves when she's, possessed by the spirits is legitimately trance-like. I'd chalk this up to legitimate possession.
Gede, the god of life and death, posted at the timeless crossroads at which all men one day arrive. So life and death become one and the same.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's how they
Next up was
wait a minute,
Gede,
hold up.
which are actually a whole family of Flow, headed by
Y'all,
Papa
wait a
Gede,
minute.
the
As
first
I'm
person
looking
who ever died. The Gede are fertility spirits, which explains the penis staff and why their signature dance, the banda, looks like an even hornier version of twerking. The Gede also watch over the graveyard and the dead, which they put powder on their face to resemble.
wait a minute, hold on a second. Wait a minute, can y'all see that?
But if I'm possessed by Ogo who can take a bottle of rum, I will not smell like rum after that. Gede will come and smoke. I believe I will not get cancer from Gede smoking.
Right.
Just bow my body to smoke.
The spirit currently mounting Mama Edeline is Mambo Zila. Her sort of human mortar and pestle floor dance is called Pil Fe, which means the crushing of the leaves. In fact, the herbs they're crushing on her stomach right now will later be used to make the protective bath.
It is protection against everything, against getting sick, getting shot.
Can you tell me a little bit about being possessed by spirits? How does it feel?
I will not be able to tell you how it feels because when I'm in possession, I am not there. When I wake up, I'm tired. It's like I'm coming from the moon.
Voodoo salutes woman as the divinity of the dream, the goddess of love, the muse of beauty.
The night's final spirit was Azili Danta, the Black Madonna. Before the rebellion, the Haitian slaves sacrificed a black pig to Azili Danto and wrote out their pact for the revolution in its blood.
She is the patron of Haiti, the whole Haiti.
What will it be like when she comes?
Furious, always angry, always like she has a problem with someone, but that's her nature.
The hypnotic spell of the tom-tom's beat, a rhythm that can increase the beating of the heart and control the mind of man.
I think Azili Danto has left the house. I'm still trying to process it.
Beautiful Haiti.
How do you feel right now?
I want to sleep.
Yeah. Really tired. Do you remember biting a chicken?
Oh, no, I didn't bite no chicken.
Someday, perhaps in the distant future, when the races of mankind better understand each other.
This is very different from in like TV and movies, where it's always bad and like using it for wrong.
We don't use it for wrong. There's a good and a bad side in everything in life.
So what happened to all of us that were in the room tonight?
I think we are all dead.
We will solve the secret of the voodoo drums that call from the hills of Haiti.
Hold on a second, I got my coffee. This is a geez, here we go. Y'all, this is basically a recap I have to let YouTube know. This is just basically for commentary purpose. This is for oh my God. Let me see how many minutes is this here. I don't want to say this for too long.
Nous-mêmes, nous pas fait magie noire. Nous utilisé magie blanc, et puis propre, et puis sain. Moi, j'ai exactement 4 ans que moi pas jamais dansé vraiment l'habitation à Cameroun Haïti parce que moi j'étais en déplacement.
Here we go. Let's go.
Let me tell you something. Them Catholic saints, if you don't know what you're doing, they will you up. Starting with that Black Madonna of Cheskatoa. That spirit don't play. Anima Soul is another one. You know what I'm saying? You want to see a house burn down? Let me tell you something. Them Catholic saints, if you don't know what you're doing, they will you up. Starting with that Black Madonna of Cheskatoa. That spirit don't play. Anima Soul is another one. You know what I'm saying? You want to see a house burn down? Let me tell you something. Them Catholic saints, if you don't know what you're doing, they will you up. starting with that Black Madonna.
Hey.
Catholics practice voodoo.
Yes, they do.
Anytime you go in front of an image and you make prayers, you're practicing voodoo. You're going in front of an altar and making petition to a supernatural being in hopes that this supernatural being can help you out in your daily struggles of life. Like we say in Vodou, to be a good Vodouisan, you have to be a good Catholic. Catholics practice voodoo. Anytime you go in front of an image and you make prayers.
See, I bet I blew you guys' fucking mind on voodoo, okay? You see, people, they love to fucking watch so many movies and they say voodoo's evil. But voodoo's Catholicism, babe. It is from fucking Catholic origins, but they're not gonna tell you that shit.
Okay.
See, I bet I blew you guys' fucking mind on voodoo, okay?
Okay, girl.
So, at its core, what are they promoting that you're doing in voodoo? Is it just access to the spirit world? Is that kind of what they're pushing?
Yeah, it's whatever you want. You have to pay the voodoo priest to do whatever it is you want. What really impressed me, he told me the name of the gentleman I was dating at the time without any use of anything. And he told me the name of the psychic that I was going to.
Wow.
Which I was blown away. Nobody had ever done that. I thought, this is what I was looking for. This is what the reality I was looking for.
It's like they're doing something that they can buy your faith basically in that thing.
It is a bait.
Hey.
So at its
Hey y'all, so I know y'all hear that voodoo and Catholicism is syncretized, but I want to debunk that real quick. We might use the images of the Catholic saints, use some of their colors, use their feast days, and go to the church for some holy water, but that's pretty much it. Now, some churches on the island have been formally dedicated to the Loa, but that's just there. But I do want to make mention of some key differences that makes Catholicism completely different from Voodoo. So first off, we don't have a Lord and Savior.
Okay.
We don't believe that anybody died for our sins.
Damn.
We don't believe that Jesus or any other particular spirit is the only way. We don't give our life or our soul to a spirit. We don't believe in hell as an eternal place of punishment. But we do recognize that there are infernal realms, with some being hotter than others.
Okay.
There's no Bible, no Sabbath, no commandments.
Okay, there you go.
There's also no confession of sins, and we just overall don't really believe in the structure of the church. Voodoo is about faith.
God damn, but y'all got it damn bad, ain't y'all? Y'all got it bad. Woo! I'm trying to see, I'm trying to do, now we're going to work on hoodoo. We were doing hold up. We were doing a lot identified with, oh, wait a minute. Y'all, okay, let's go back here. We're going to go to hoodoo and root worker. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I don't want to keep nobody long. Okay, here we go.
Let me explain to you guys the difference between hoodoo, conjure, and root work right quick.
Root worker.
Hoodoo is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of the descendants of slaves. That's a lifestyle. Root work is the medicinal part to where you learn what herbs and what roots work together in order to get things done.
Okay, that's
whether it's healing somebody or say for instance somebody has arthritis and you can mix
that's basically what I do.
asafoetida together with some water and something else and make a salve and rub on it. That's the root work part. Conjure is when you calling on spirits to do work for you, and you have to pay those spirits. So it's a difference between hoodoo, root work, and conjuring. It seems like it's the same, but it's really not. Let me explain to you guys that I see a lot of comments saying that you guys want to learn hoodoo. How do I learn how to do hoodoo? First of all, you can't learn it. That's the first thing. But I want y'all to ask yourself these questions before you say that you want to commit to something like this. Are you willing to be used as a vessel for other people? Meaning that, are you ready to give up a lot of your time, be waking up in the middle of the night, can't get no sleep, sometimes you have to be by yourself, know how to keep your mouth closed, meaning you can't tell nobody business, willing to deal with the good, the bad, and the ugly, because sometimes you got to get real ugly. Remove that prideful spirit. Realize that you're not a genie, just to name a few. So are you really ready for that? I see a lot of comments saying,
watch where you walking, bitch. What did you... Wait a minute. I'm white. Watch where you walking, bitch. What did...
These videos have taught me something very crucial. I started doing these videos because I want to be seen, but I am already seen. I'm not going to wait for these people to see me because God sees me, my ancestors see me, and I see myself. These videos also show the duality between the voodoo and the root worker. They are both needed and they both intertwine. Peace. These videos have taught me something very crucial.
I'm trying to get red here. Let me see. Okay. I want to tell you guys, did in fact with I know I had got you guys up late. Did in fact with these different type of voodoo, hoodoo. We're gonna go over these things. We're gonna get down there to the bottom. Did in fact with did it. As we do know, that's why you having so much bad luck. You carry a woman on your back with a child. You say she got your back, you got the front. Really? Okay. But what they fail to tell you is that with you carrying her around, you don't supposed to beat and abuse her. That's why you're in the shape that you're in. Right now, at this point, I don't think so. He's gonna get out. Now, I want to we're gonna look at this last part, dealing with Catholics, like dealing with the Italians. They deal a lot with the Catholic. Anyway, I do know I have a friend down south. And basically, I worked in her store with her and doing candles and stuff, dressing candles. I worked in her store along with her. And also, too, somebody came in there one day and they got to go to court and they didn't want to go to prison. Whatever another, she told them to go in and get a rooster. Anyway, she told them to be there at 8 o'clock at night, and she took the rooster and she beat the customer with it. Until it was nothing but blood and guts and all that type of stuff there. With the blood and stuff. So that basically, like, what she did with that ritual, it basically kept him out of jail. Because he was looking at a lot of time. But hold 1 second. Let me see, could we just look at this in here? And then I will let y'all go. Okay, let's go. Hold on a second. I'm trying to see it. Okay, let me see. It looked like that this got what it's got around it. Hold on a second. Let's see what this one here. 7C. Okay, yeah. Oh, also too, I want to see this in real. Let me go right here. Y'all also too, what we're gonna do is that we're gonna start doing with our candles, right? We're gonna start doing with the candles, and I'm gonna see how that we do this there, and then I'm gonna show you each candle and how that you can get the candle, where you get it from, and then what every candle means. Okay. One thing about it, when you buy a candle, and what you need, the longer that it sit where it came from, the stronger that it's gonna be. Okay, the stronger that it's gonna be. But anyway, I'm gonna show you something. Let me see, can I get this in here with you, and then I will let you guys go. There you go, right there. That's what she had used. Try with it. Get off the end of the stairs, so you don't have to go upstairs. One trip. There you go.
Is the Catholic Church killing Albertans? If you think about it, yeah. So there's this company called Covenant Health. They used to be called the Grey Nuns. They're officially a nonprofit, but so is the NHL and the NRA and OpenAI. So the word charity here is doing a lot of heavy lifting. And Danielle Smith, Alberta's traitor-in-chief, got elected on the promise of fixing the province's healthcare system, which her predecessor, Jason Kenney, had been stealing from to build a pipeline to nowhere. Of course, Danielle's idea.
I'm a nurse, but I'm a believer, and I'm gonna fight the devil, and I'm gonna do this. And you're like, okay, good.
I didn't say this earlier, but the Catholic Church has got a lot to be. We've got a lot to be grateful for.
They not building. Why wouldn't you go against these niggas today? They not building nothing. They destroying every woman they lay with. They disrespect every woman they sleep with, homie. Why you want to be on their side? Why? I don't love nothing about black culture. I'm 46 years old, my nigga. I can't think of nothing in life that black people can be proud of in 46 years. We ain't done one goddamn thing that we can be proud of and say I'm black and I'm proud. Not one.
Police can't come inside your house if you do this one thing. Police are going to knock on your door and they're going to ask if they can come in and chat with you for a minute. The answer is no. No, officer. If you do want to talk to them and see what's going on, my recommendation is that you listen and that you don't speak, and you do it outside of your home with the door closed behind you. If they persist, ask them, do you have a warrant? If they say no, say, thank you, officer. I appreciate your time, but you're not allowed inside my home or my backyard. If police show up at your house to arrest you, save this video and follow these rules. Police can't come inside your house if you do this one thing. Police are going to knock on your door and they're going to ask if they can come in and chat with you for a minute. The answer is no. No, officer. If you do want to talk to them and see what's going on, my recommendation is that you listen and that you don't speak, and you do it outside of your home with the door closed behind you. If they persist, ask them, do you have...
Okay. Let's go. Let me get out of here. Okay, let me get out of here. Anyway, you guys, I thank you. Gail, I want to see you again over here. Thank you, my beautiful moderator. Tomorrow we're going to be doing Diddy. I'm going to go off down to bed so I can get up and do prayer in the morning. Between 4:30, 4:45, we'll be doing prayer. And then later on during the day, tomorrow, we will be doing the Diddy trial. Then we'll take a break. Then we're going to take our chance. We're going to do Fish Fry Friday tomorrow. Okay? Fish Fry Friday, everybody bring their bottles, and we're going to dance a little bit. So anyway, I thank you. Those who haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. We over here, nothing but you. We are the SSS sector over here. That stands for Strategy Scribe Sector. Okay? We get straight down to the strategy and stay on focus what we're supposed to be talking about. Okay. We do not bash kids over here. We don't talk about kids. And we do not do anything but talking about death. We don't. We just go on through and do what we got to do. In order to be a part of this Savior, that's what your commitment got to be on your channel. If you're going to use the SSS behind your name. Okay? Thank you. Okay, you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you again. We're going to get down with this because I'm going to show you identify with Diddy. And we're going to get down with this here. We're going to find that root worker. Wait a minute. That voodoo priest. Because he did, as y'all see it right there in front of you, he deal with, I told y'all that the man came from across the field there. That's why they took their IDs. So they won't go back. So the priest, the voodoo man came over here. Because they still watching his mama, his daughter, and all this other stuff here. Because they cannot go over there in Haiti and arrest the voodoo priest over there. They got to see him doing his hocus pocus over here. But it's a lot of money. Anyway, you guys, I thank you and have a great night. And I'll see y'all early morning. Thank you for your time and your patience. Good night. Thank you, moderator.